Right then, we are only days away from Bivol versus Beterbiev, and I'm going to be talking about the main talking points for the undercard. I've done my separate breakdown for the main event, and I've done my full card predictions, but I'm just here to talk about the main key points of the undercard to this big undisputed fight. We've got some really good fights. Obviously, Fabio Wally, Fraser Clark. I think it's an absolute banger. Chris Eubank Jr. is back. Jaya Pate is on the card. First ever women's fight on Riyadh season as well. Sky Nicholson, Raven Chapman, and probably Ben Whittaker's biggest test yet in him fighting Liam Cameron. So, yes, we're going to start off with that one as well, talking a bit about Ben Whittaker and Liam Cameron. I think this is 100% Ben Whittaker's biggest test that he's going to have, in my opinion, that he's had so far in Liam Cameron. Obviously, Liam Cameron put up a good performance against Lyndon Arthur last time out, and in my opinion, arguably won the fight. I thought Liam Cameron was really good in that fight, and the guy's relentless. He's never been knocked out in his losses. I think he's had 5 losses or 6 losses, one of the two. And, Liam Cameron's never been knocked out, never been stopped in those defeats. And, Cameron's been in there with some top level guys. So I think he's a real interesting opponent for Ben Whittaker to deal with, in my opinion. And he is relentless. He does come forward well. Liam Cameron is good at timing his moments when he is coming in. And you just can't finish him. He's just non-stop, always coming at you no matter what. And that's something that I think Ben Whittaker could struggle with a bit. Or you never know. I mean, no, I don't think Liam Cameron's going to let Ben Whittaker dance around him. I don't think there's going to be as much showboating this time round from Ben Whittaker. I think Cameron's really going to put on a big body attack to Ben Whittaker. That's what I think is going to happen in this one. I think Cameron's really going to try and work the body. I think he's going to try and use his strength as well in this fight, tie Ben Whittaker up, get his moments in and clinch a bit. And I think Liam Cameron has got potential to take rounds away from Ben Whittaker in this fight. I do. I think Liam Cameron will have a good showing. I think Ben Whittaker will win the fight. I think, obviously, he's got a good amateur background. He's been in the Olympics. I think, Ben Whittaker, he's definitely the fresher out of the two. And obviously, previous to the Lyndon Arthur fight, Liam Cameron was out for quite a while. And this fight is really interesting because it really properly does show the level that Ben Whittaker is at. And it also tells us a bit about Lyndon Arthur as well, about where is Lyndon Arthur really at? Because Lyndon Arthur, he's looked awful his last few. Ever since he got battered by Anthony Yarde, he's looked awful. He has. Ever since he beat Anthony Yarde, he's looked awful in his fights ever since. So, yeah, but with Ben Whittaker, if Ben Whittaker can really make his statements against Liam Cameron, knock him out, then, he's really building his way up to be a good high-level fighter. And you never know. If he can really run through Liam Cameron with ease, he could actually be above British level for all we know. It's going to be interesting. But I do see Liam Cameron making it difficult for Ben Whittaker. And I think this fight will show Ben Whittaker, as of now, is kind of around British level and all that. And I think Ben Whittaker will eventually be a world champ one day. But right now, I think he's not at the level people are saying he's at. Right now saying, he's really pushing onto world level, I've heard people say. Not just yet. He'll be there one day, but I think Cameron will cause him the obvious of an issue. And Ben Whittaker, I think, will have to dig deep to beat Liam Cameron. Cameron's strong. He's relentless. And, he's got some good power in his hands to gain your respect as well. So it's an interesting one. But I do expect Ben Whittaker to win. I expect Ben Whittaker to win on points. 116, 112, something like that, 117, 111. But I think Cameron will take a few rounds off it. Okay. That's if it is actually, I think it's 10 rounds though. Anyway, next up we've got Chris Eubank Jr. we're talking about versus Kamil Cesar-Meta. Obviously Kamil Cesar-Meta, he's been there with the likes of Jaime Munguia, Triple G. He's been, Cesar-Meta's a real veteran of the game. Definitely, he's been around the block. But Right now, I mean, I don't think he has great heart. I mean, he quit against both Munguia and Golovkin. So it's like, I mean, does he really have heart? I mean, he's getting a big bag here as well. Like, is Cesar Massa really actually there to win? I think Eubank's going to make this one look extremely easy, in my opinion. I think Eubank's got quicker hands than people think. Eubank is very tough. He has got a good chin. I mean, people are like, oh, but Liam Smith knocked him out. He kind of did get elbowed in that one, though. But yeah, Chris Eubank Jr., I think, will make easy work out of this and he'll eventually be able to push on to bigger things. But the thing is, though, with Eubank is that he's so ridiculously greedy. He is, and that's the issue with Eubank. He's just greedy. I don't think he has big passion for it. He's just looking for... he's trying to get big fights, but he priced himself out of a Canelo fight, and that tells you something. When someone's pricing himself out of a Canelo fight, I mean, what you doing, mate? That's the thing. Like, he probably would have got more money from the Canelo fight than this one, surely. But I guess, with the Riyadh season card, he's probably been promised quite a few things by Turkey Al-Sheikh, I guess. But, I mean, a Canelo fight's bigger than, Ben fight. It's bigger than Billy Joe Saunders fight. Like, if Chris Eubank Jr. fought Canelo, his stock for his next one, win or lose, would have been bigger anyway. So it's like, I don't know. It's a strange one. He's a really strange one, Chris Eubank Jr., with his decisions and what he's doing in boxing. But yeah, I expect him to make easy work out of Kamil Cesar-Meta. I don't even think Cesar-Meta is going to actually come and win, to be fair. I just don't think his head's in the game. That he just quits and just gives in. So yeah, I expect Eubank to run rings around him and then probably stop him as well. So yeah. Anyway, also as well, we are now talking about the first women's fight on Riyadh season: Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman. Yeah, two good women's boxers to have on the card. Obviously, two completely different styles as well. You've got Sky Nicholson, who's a very good all-round boxer. Uses her reach well. She's got very good boxing IQ, probably some of the best boxing IQ in women's boxing. They got Raven Chapman, who she's got good pressure, likes to kind of bulldoze forward. Chapman puts her shots together well as well. So it's an interesting one. It's one that I definitely expect Sky Nicholson to win, but I think it's an interesting one, though. Chapman's probably going to try and make it raw. She's going to try and make it into a fight. It'll be interesting to see if Raven Chapman can force Sky Nicholson into a fight, because so far no one's been able to do that. Sky Nicholson's always just able to, she's always just been able to stick to her normal boxing game. But Raven Chapman could try and make things difficult, but to be fair, I don't really think Chapman's really going to touch Nicholson, to be fair. But yeah, Chapman does need to make it into a fight. But it's going to be difficult to force someone like Sky into a fight with the boxing IQ she's got, with how clever she is. She always moves really well, Sky Nicholson. And the thing with Sky Nicholson, though, is that she could be better if she had the power. It's just that Nicholson never really plants her feet. I mean, you never usually see knockouts in women's boxing anyway, but it's just that a lot of them, they don't really plant their feet, and they like to move. And Sky Nicholson's a prime example of that. But she's a great all-round boxer, so I expect her to win probably every round here, to be fair. 9-1, 10-0, something like that. 8-2, being if you're being nice to Chapman. But yeah, I expect Sky Nicholson to just run rings round her, to be fair. So yeah, Nicholson to make easy work out of this one, in my opinion. Obviously, next up as well, we got Jaya Patea versus Jack Massey. Interesting. I don't think it's a great fight for Jai. It's a massive downgrade after obviously beating Breedis in your last one. I made a video on it before that I think Jai Patea's resume in general, it's massively overhyped. The elite when he's gotten there is Breedis. He beat him both times, but he did exactly the great against Breedis late on in the second fight, especially. And Breedis has really had Patea on the ropes in his fights. But no, in this one, I expect Jai Patea to run through Jack Massey. It's just another Brit that they're sticking in there with Jai Patea just to run through, really. It's just a pointless fight. I don't know why Jack Massey's got himself into a title fight. I don't know how it's happened. I don't know how it happened with Ellis Zorro as well. That made zero sense. Same as this one. I think Jack Massey's a good boxer. He is. He's got decent power. Got good skill as well. But I just think Jack Massey's very basic, and that's what I think's going to let Jack Massey down coming into this fight. I think he's too basic, and I think he'll just be too easy for someone like Jai Opetaia to figure out. That's my opinion. I think Opetaia will just be able to figure him out, and Jack Massey, he's just too basic for Jai Opetaia. I don't think he's clever enough to cause Jai Opetaia any problems at all. That's my opinion on that one. Yeah, I just think Jai Opetaia's resume is massively overrated. I really do. Other than Breeders, he hasn't fought anyone that's ever tested him before. That's the thing. And Jack Massey ain't going to test Jai Opetaia at all. So it's a disappointing fight. I was expecting something bigger from Opetaia. I mean, people would say he's avoided, but it's like, no, there's definitely better fights that he could have instead of sticking another Brit in there with him, though. That's the thing. Like, it's just an uncalled for fight. Like, Opetaia's not going to learn anything off of fighting Jack Massey. Like, he's not learning anything from this fight at all. I mean, fighting someone like Breeders like he did in his last one, I think we learned a lot about Jai. He's a great all-round boxer, but, when it gets late on, you can really take him into deep waters and hurt him if you go late on with Jai. I don't see this one going late at all, though. I think Opetaia KOs him easily. But Jack Massey, he looked all right against Parker in a boring fight. Looked all right against Riatpour in a boring fight. Massey, to win, he's going to have to try and make it look boring. He's going to have to really try and be active in the clinch. He's gonna have to get his work in, hold. That's what Jack Massey's game plan should be coming into it. But I don't see him being able to get it to work. So yeah, Jai's gonna win. It's just an easy stylistic match up for him, really. And Jack Massey's just not elite level, so you can't beat this win up for Jai whatsoever. Anyway, next up we've of course got Frazer Clarke. Well, should I say the British champ Fabio Wardley versus Frazer Clarke. I think this is an absolute class fight. The first one earlier on in the year was an absolute banger. Will this one be better? I don't think it'll be as good as the first fight. I don't. I think possibly both guys take a bit more of a cautious approach coming into it. Although it is heavyweight boxing, though, so I don't know. But I think Frazer Clarke will win this fight. I actually do. I thought Wardley nicked the last one. But I think Frazer Clarke will win this time. I think it was clear in the first fight. Frazer Clarke was definitely the sharper out of the two, putting his shots together a lot better. And Wardley was very wild. And, Wardley's wildness, it did cause Frazer Clarke problems. But with the experience Frazer Clarke's got, with his amateur background and all that, and a good experienced team behind him as well, I think they're going to look at that and, they're going to try and take advantage of Wardley's wildness. That's what I think. And Frazer Clarke's going to catch... Wardley's going to walk onto something overswing, because that's what Wardley was doing in the first fight. He was overswinging quite a lot. But now Frazer Clarke's going to... And Frazer Clarke did catch him off guard at times, but Clarke's going to look back at that and think, I can do something with this now, looking back at that. And that's what I think. Frazer Clarke's shots are really sharp. They're really on point. He works the body well. He's good up close. That's where he needs it. And Clarke's counters are very good as well. And I see Frazer Clarke really working on those counters, once again, making it even better. And he's going to catch Wardley. And I think Frazer Clarke will drop Wardley this time. I don't think Frazer Clarke will go down this time. I mean, I think Wardley's the harder hitter out of the two. But I think Clarke's a more precise puncher. He's the smarter puncher. He's the more accurate puncher. That's what I think. And I think that's going to benefit Frazer Clarke here as well. And I think Frazer Clarke will look better in the later stages as well. And I think, look at that nose of Fabio Wardley. I think Fabio Wardley's going to... I think he's going to get his nose broken. I think Frazer Clarke's going to... bust him up early, and in the judges' eyes especially, I think that could definitely play more into Clarke's favor. I think Clarke drops him once or twice. I said it in my full card prediction video. I think Clarke does drop Fabio Wardley. I think Clarke will work the body well. I think his counters will be good. Wardley will be able to cause Clarke issues, definitely, because, he is wild, he is confusing, and he is difficult to deal with. First few rounds, I think Wardley will do well, but I think as the fight goes on, Frazer Clarke will build his way into it. Frazer Clarke will get sharper and sharper, and I think he will eventually be able to catch Wardley off guard a few times. drop him. I mean, yeah, Wardley's more experienced as a pro, but overall in boxing, Fraser Clark's a lot more smarter. He's been around the game for a long time, and also in the amateurs as well. He's been in there with some of the best guys. So I expect Fraser Clark to win this fight. I expect him to win a decision, but it's going to be interesting. I think Fraser Clark's going to prove he's the sharper of the two. He's the more clever of the two. And I think he's eventually going to put a bit of a beat down on Wardley. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, anyway, what do I think fight of the night will be? I think Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley will be fight of the night. Well, that's the undercard anyway. Performance of the night. I think we're going to see a big performance from Sky Nicholson. I think we're going to see... I don't know about Ben Whittaker, to be fair. Probably Jai Patel gets something, but, Jack Massey's not really going to do anything. But, yeah, anyway. I mean, Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron could be very, very, very bloody good. Or it could be Ben Whittaker wiping him out. I don't see Liam Cameron winning that fight, though. But Cameron will give it a good go. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, Keyholes. I'll speak to you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.